Pretty reliable? Sometimes. Oh, of course. Of course. Hey, what's up guys? Brad with Squared Away every day, and today I'm going to just kind of give you my first impressions on the Tesla Model X Plaid. I just picked this vehicle up just a few days ago. I did do a taking delivery video, which you can get my genuine initial reactions on just experiencing the vehicle. I'd never actually seen a Model X Plaid prior to picking this one up. So sight unseen, I bought this vehicle. And so this video is just going to be general first impressions of my first few days of ownership and things that I'm kind of wanting to do to the vehicle and that kind of stuff. So if you like that kind of content, please go ahead and give me a like, give me a sub, and let's hop into it. Okay, so for starters, just right off the bat, we've got this yoke here. And the yoke actually in this particular vehicle versus my S is quite a bit more palatable versus the S. And I think that's just because you can see my seating position. I actually have my feet, it's like I'm sitting in a chair versus kind of being elongated, and my legs are like stretched out like a car would be. So in this particular vehicle, I feel like it's easier. I was already used to the steering yoke in the first place. I was already used to it. Do I like the steering yoke? Not really. I think the steering yoke is kind of dumb, but it's cool. You can get used to it. It's not like a huge deal. I just don't really like it, mainly because I don't like having the horn right here, and that's pretty much it. The blinkers are cool over here. The lights are fine. Everything's pretty much fine, except the horn. The horn is stupid, and people keep saying, hey, you can just hit the... No, you can't. I hit this, and it doesn't honk the horn. And if I hit all of this, it's like half the time it'll actually honk and half the time it won't. So not a big fan of the horn. That's kind of the biggest deal for me on the yoke. But I will say, again, in the Model X, it's much easier to get used to the yoke versus the S. And I think it's just because the positioning is different. That's probably just relative to the individual. For me personally, it's more comfortable and it's just easier to drive with the yoke. So there's that right off the bat. Now, we also have this huge pano glass right here, and let me tell you, this sucker heats up. It gets super hot. Like the cabin space in this entire vehicle, you can see going all the way back, it's very large. It's a really big cabin, so it's going to take a lot more to cool the cabin down. So I've got this vehicle in the summertime. I made a video I don't know, maybe like, I had a really hard run this morning, so that's why I keep doing that kind of thing. It just, it kind of took it out of me. So anyway, I made a video maybe 6 months ago, maybe 4 months ago, I don't really know, on like, oh, should you do ceramic tint on your vehicle? And in that video, I said it doesn't make a huge difference, and it doesn't really make a huge difference, especially in Colorado. But in the summertime, with this huge pano glass right here in the X, and I would imagine the Y is probably the same. If you're in a really hot state, I take back what I said, and I reserve the right to do that. I think the ceramic tint is probably the way to go, because this sucker here will heat you up so fast. So personally speaking, I am going to be tinting this out, and I'm probably going to go in my Model 3 that I had. I tinted that sucker out 50%, and then in my Model Y, I tinted, and I'm talking the windshields, I tinted the Model Y, I think it was 70%. And then I think in the S, it was also 70%. And honestly, in this car, because the glass is so huge, and I don't really like people being able to see into the vehicle, especially if you're in like a sketchy part of town, I'll probably tint this guy out with 50%. That's just how I like to roll with it. Now I'm going to be doing the side windows as well. All the little like mini windows obviously will get tinted. I'm just going to go ceramic all the way around because I'm already doing it on this pano glass right here. And so, yeah, that'll be cool. I'll be getting that done. Let's go ahead and step out of the vehicle here. By the way, this has been awesome. The opening and auto open and all this kind of stuff with the vehicle has been super sweet. So if I get in the vehicle and I hit the brake, check this out. Whoa, that's awesome. I'm digging that big time. Then if I come over here and I just hit the open button, the car will open. Now, that's not to say that you can't just do everything manually. Like I could just shut this door if I wanted to, but why do that? I can either hit this button right here and it'll close the door, or if I come over here and press this hard enough, it'll close the door and it kind of slams shut. So that has been really, really cool. Honestly, something that I've just dug big time. And I do have a light on. It's kind of overcast. you can see we're about to get some rain, so if there's a little reflection you can see me, it just is what it is. So anyway, with the vehicle itself, I couldn't actually decide if I was really going to you know, do a PPF job on it, or just do like a partial clear bra and then just ceramic coat. I couldn't really decide what I was gonna do. After owning the vehicle for, I don't know, 2 or 3 days, I really like it. I like it way better than my Model S. It's probably, to this point, my favorite Tesla. Now, is it the best value Tesla? No, it's not. The Y still takes the cake. Honestly, if money's no object, I'll take this. But if money is an object, or you just want to be smart, unlike me, then go ahead and pick up the Model Y Performance. That is the best value Tesla that they make, and it's super high quality. So money no object, I'll take this X. For me personally speaking, and I've talked about this before, it's a big deal for me for the tax stuff. For the Section 179, it's got to be over 6,000 pounds on the GVWR, not the dry weight, the GVWR, and then you can accelerate to depreciate these vehicles. And so that's a big deal to me, in conjunction with, this is just awesome. And I said in the first video that taking delivery, the soonest that this becomes a liability for me, to where it's affecting me for like my DTI, getting additional real estate and stuff like that, I'll be the first one to get rid of it, and I will not cry about it. But as said earlier, I'm all about experiences, and it's just super cool to be able to own this vehicle, and it's really fun for the time being. So with all that being said, what the heck are you gonna do? Well, here's what I'm gonna do, guys. I'm going to, can you picture it? Not yet, because I haven't told you. Check this out. If you don't know what it is, multicam black. Maybe I'll throw a little shot up on the screen here. Multicam black on this thing. How awesome would that be? Because we've got this, you know, like Tesla, and it's like everybody's like super proper and really PC, but let's just throw some multicam black on it just to be kind of wild and contradictory. I think that would be super awesome. Multicam black on the entire thing. This will be vinyl. This one will not be PPF. It'll be multicam black. And then on the little Tesla T in the front and the Tesla T in the rear, I'm gonna do those in like a hunter orange, so like a neon orange. So the T's will be neon orange. Boom, this T as well. And then down here, I do not like, let me see if I'm actually, okay, I do not like these little plaid badges. They look really bad. I don't know how well you can see it, but it looks like a freaking refrigerator magnet. I do not like that at all. It looks bad. Now, when they first came out, the plaids, like the one that I had, the Model S, I had one of the first ones, and it just said plaid. Super classy, really subdued, and I think a lot of people kind of glossed over it because the initial delivery of these vehicles, not these, but the initial delivery of the Model S plaid had these, they call them the Spaceballs badge, going plaid. So if you don't know, you'll have to watch that movie. I'm not a big Spaceballs guy, but it just is what it is. Anyway, this is the Spaceballs logo, and on the very first delivered Model S's, it had a really cool version of this, not this cheap, like magnet looking kind of thing. So everybody wanted that rather than it just saying plaid. And so now they actually put it on the vehicle, and it just looks like crap. They didn't execute it the way that they did on the initial run. And so personally speaking, I like it just to say plaid, and that's cool. That's really cool. Honestly, on my Model X, no, I'm sorry. I've had so many at this point. On my Model S, I just took the plaid badge off. I put the Spaceballs one on. I didn't really like it. Sorry, that run took it out of me today. I probably pushed a little bit too hard. But anyway, trying to get back in it, you know? Anyway, I put the Spaceballs badge on, and it was cool, but it was like metal. It was an actual piece of metal, and it just did not round to the body of the vehicle. And so it would kind of like peel off a little bit, especially in the winter. That's when that started to happen. So anyway, I think I prefer it to just say plaid. And so the plaid emblem in the back, the Tesla T on the rear, and then the Tesla T on the front are all going to be neon orange. And then the vehicle is going to be, wow, look at all these bugs. This is insane. Little cyclone of bugs right there. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be multicam black with just a little bit of hint of like hunter orange, and I think that'll be cool. I thought about doing the brakes in like a hunter orange as well, like a neon orange with the multicam black, but that might be a little bit too much orange. I can't decide. And then I wanted to do the door jams, like right in here. I wanted to do all this orange as well, so you'd open it up even on the jams and stuff. So you'd open this sucker up, it'd be like multicam black on the outside, and then boom, a little bit of pop of orange. That would be sick, but that would also be super time consuming, which means that would be super expensive. Okay, so that's enough about what I'm planning on doing to the vehicle. This though, these auto doors are so sick. Pretty reliable. Sometimes. Oh, of course when I said that. So I think what's going on, when I picked this vehicle up initially, I said there's a little rubbing right here. I wonder if it's the door. Not a huge deal, because I mean literally all I need to do, if this happens, it never stops me. Here, we'll sneak in. There we go. And it closes, but I would say it closes like 90% of the time. The other one's 100%. Here's the deal though, with me specifically, I don't like dropping off any of my vehicles at Tesla. And it's just because, dang it guys, they do at the service centers, and I've got a really good service center. I just feel like they don't really take care of your vehicle the way they should. Every time I get them back, first of all, I never get, oh, we're in the bug cyclone. Every time I get them back, they're super dirty. They don't, let's get out of this thing, jeez. Are we out of it? I think so. Every time I take the vehicle in, they have it for way longer than they said they were gonna need it. They leave it outside, which is like right next to a high school. I hate that. And actually the rear trunk on the hatch on my Model S got a little dent in it. And I'm pretty sure it was probably from like some high schoolers or something jacking around in the parking lot over the weekend. I digress. I hate taking my vehicle into the service center. I will not do it at all costs unless it's something really detrimental at this point. So like that with the door not completely closing, forget about it. I'm just gonna deal with that. It's not a huge deal to me. This door on the right side is 100%. I haven't had any problems with it. Oh, check this out. I don't know if you can see this. Here, I'll see if I can. I don't know if you can see those scratches right by that door, right there. Right in this area, there's some scratches, and that is from my kiddo. I've owned this car like 3 days, and my kiddo loves this vehicle. She really digs it, and that's awesome. I kind of learned my lesson on my Model S Plaid to just not freak out about cars. And like for me personally, over half the fun, like 80% of the fun, is sharing these vehicles with my family and just the people that I love. And so if you get some scratches and stuff like that, it is what it is, and we're gonna wrap it. So we'll take the, I was gonna say the soap bar, not the soap bar. We're gonna take the clay bar to the vehicle before we get it all wrapped up and stuff. So hopefully it'll take that out, but whatever, not a huge deal. Anyway, I digress. The point is, they're just things. People is what makes things great. Things don't make people great. Okay, and so this door has been super reliable. Haven't had any problems with it. But the other one just, you know, I would say one out of every 3 or 4 opening and closes is just kind of a pain in the butt and doesn't close all the way. This one's fine. Don't have any problems with it. Let's see if we have any problems on this side again. But dang, isn't that wild the way these open up? I mean, the way that this even just opens, watch, I'm probably gonna get this cluster of bugs just cycloning into the car. But the way that these open is just so sick. Look at that. That is awesome. Doesn't that just put a smile on your face? Super cool. I do get a little tripped out that they're gonna like crush my kiddo sometimes. So that kind of makes me nervous, but I don't know. They're pretty good for the most part. Let's see if this closes. Now, these doors, the automatic Falcon wing doors, the Gull wing doors, have sensors on them. Oh, look at this, 2 for 2 while we're doing this video. If this does become a thing, I will have to, I'll have to bring it into Tesla. Let's see, guys, if we can get 2 for 3. Is it gonna close? Let's make sure that this is just in all the way. Is it gonna close? Come on, sucker. And it goes that time. I don't know. If it's a thing where it's not every 1 in 3, it's more like every time, I will have to return it. Oh, but you can see, guys. See that rub mark right there? Here, let's see. Yeah, you can see it. See where the paint is rubbing away? So that's why this isn't closing all the way. It's not completely aligned. And you can tell it's not completely aligned because the door is right here. So anyway, it is what it is. But there's sensors on the driver's side door, the passenger door, and then the rear passenger doors so that they don't just bang into crap when they open. And they're actually pretty reliable. They work very, very good. I haven't had one time to where they've opened into like my trash can or something like that, because I park in really far away from my Model Y and really close to my Tacoma, just so that little one's not like, you know, bashing the door into the X every time she gets out of the Y. So it's just something I do, that I park kind of weird, but the sensors are very good on the doors. That's been awesome. I've been digging that big time. I actually have grown to like this wing quite a bit. The wing's cool. The rear area I've used minimally to transport just minimal stuff, nothing real crazy. I like to keep these seats up though, because they just look nice and they just make you feel good. When you look back and you're in the front seat and you look to the rear, it just makes it feel like there's so much room in the vehicle. Look at that, just a big alley. That's awesome. This is like minivan, like awesomeness, isn't it? I know that sounds weird, but anyway, I will be doing ceramic tint on the vehicle because the vehicle gets super hot and it's super hard to cool this car down. There's just so much cabin space in here. It's really, really difficult to cool this car down. So that is a thing, and a thing that I'm not like super stoked about, but it just is what it is. There's more space, more air to cool, and this glass is so big in the front that it will cook you. It will cook you. Now, not a huge deal in Colorado because most of the year it is not super hot, but in the time that it is, I got to put some ceramic tint down. So hopefully the 50%, like my Model 3 Performance, my Stealth that I had, you won't be able to see into this thing at all. I think for the tint on the driver and passenger windows, we're probably going to be going with like 10%, and then I may have to retint the rear as well, just to kind of match the darkness of the tint, and it'll be super dark, the dark night, for just a little while, and then 3-4 weeks later, because I'm going in next week. Oh, we got a little wind. We're going to get inside the vehicle. I'm going in next week to get the tint done, and then about 3 weeks after that is when we've got the what is it? The multicam black stuff going on. And so I'm working on, I have that habit. So I'm working on licensing to see if we can actually get real multicam black, and then what we need to blow that up to make it look proportionate on the vehicle. So that'll be all really cool. What else is going on with this thing? The tilting of the screen is cool, but I do think that it made, so this is awesome, right? But I will say, the tilting of the screen, there is a little bit of rattliness coming from this general area. I don't know what it is. It might be this plastic piece, or it's something down in here, and that just bugs the crap out of me. It's very, very quiet. So quiet to where if I've got like a Starbucks, it's like, oh, why do you have a straw in there? Because they don't mix their drinks. That's why the straw is in there. They don't mix the drinks. And then I was like, you know what? It's probably a good thing I have a straw anyway, so that I don't, you know, have to continue to make my teeth yellow from drinking coffee. So that's a thing. So I don't have to whiten my teeth as often. So anyway, I don't know. This is cool, like the screen tilting and everything, but there's a little rattle coming from here or coming from here. I can't totally dial it in yet. So that's irritating me, to say the least. But other than that, the vehicle's fast. It's a very fast vehicle. It feels not as torquey, obviously, as my Model S Plaid, but way quicker than the Model Y Performance. It beats the 0 to 60 by a full second, which is huge, and so you definitely feel that. And it's fun. It's a really fun car to drive. I actually got turned away. I told you guys I was going to be going on a mountain to race around on a mountaintop, and the track is so small, and this vehicle is actually, it doesn't look very big, but it is big. I got turned away from the track because they were worried about the size of the vehicle and how small the track is and the amount of vehicles that were going to be on the track at that time. So I got turned away from that event. That's okay. And to be honest with you, I don't want to say trashed. I really loved on the Model S Plaid that I had, you know, doing donuts and like gravel and like, you know, I really drove the crap out of that vehicle. The tires were shredded when I sold it. Awesome car. I'm just not much of a car guy. I just don't really like cars for me, if I get another car, it's gonna have to be like the 6th vehicle that I own. But aside from that, the vehicle has been great. I've really dug the vehicle. I think the rain has kind of stopped here. I've really dug the vehicle. These auto doors are probably the most exciting thing that I've got going in the Tesla right this second, which has been awesome. And I think that's about it, guys. This is, you know, nothing too crazy going on. But I will say, oh, here we go. I'm gonna have to get back in the car again. I will say, I'm as excited about this vehicle as I was my Model Y Performance. Probably a little bit more, just because the cabin space is so big, the utility space is awesome, and I need that. I'm not a guy that just likes driving around cars. I do like cars, but again, that's gotta be the fifth, sixth car in the stable of vehicles that I own, because it's something that I'm just not gonna drive super frequently. And so anyway, that's where we're at with this. I think I'm just rambling at this point. I don't think there's really much to talk about on the vehicle other than what we did. Somebody mentioned in one of the comments, yo, Brad, aren't these taillights supposed to be the new refreshed taillights? No, they're not. They did that on the Model S. Model S Plaid and like the new Model S long range have the new taillights. This car does not. Now this car has the matrix headlights on it, which is cool, but it doesn't have the new taillights. And honestly, personally speaking, I like this little cut in the taillights right there. I just think it makes it look a little bit different than like a Model 3 or a Model Y, which it should, because it's way more expensive. And so I'm glad that my car has that. And I'm not just saying that. I'm not these people that like get all crazy because you know, somebody insulted their car. I didn't make the car. I don't care what you think about the car. So that's pretty much it, guys. For all of you out there that were trying to shame me for the car purchase, you have no idea. You have no idea the type of charity stuff that I do. You have no idea how I try to help people just in my personal life and in business. You have no idea. Don't start with me and don't act like I wasn't appreciative of the vehicle in that video. I said in the video, I'm super appreciative to own a Tesla. This Tesla is a little much, but it's the only Tesla that's over 6,000 pounds to where I can take advantage of that accelerated depreciation. And instead of paying that tax to the federal government, I can go ahead and put that into businesses and employ more people, or I can go ahead and be charitable with that money, or I can just do stuff for my family with it. Stuff that I agree with way more than what the federal government is doing almost on every level these days. Just absolutely ridiculous. So anyway, the 6,000 pound GVWR fits that bill. And that's a big deal for me. Otherwise, I probably most certainly would just be driving the Model Y Performance. And I've gotten a meeting with my tax attorney just to make sure all the strategies I've got going right this second are on the up and up. And so anyway, I don't know. We don't need to keep going into other stuff that I've got going on. Somebody also asked me, how does the car handle? The car handles pretty good, but it's a very heavy vehicle. It's not like a Model S. This is a heavy vehicle. Jeez, it's too hot. I tried to turn the air off so that you guys didn't have additional background noise. It's too hot. It's a good vehicle, a real good vehicle. It doesn't handle like an S though. And an S is a big vehicle in itself, which is not handling like a Porsche 911 GT3. So it just is what it is. This is just a big utility vehicle that's very, very fast. It's not something that's gonna be like awesome around a track. It's very good. Just taking it up in the canyon and stuff on the mountain, that was fun. It's very good, but it's not gonna be, you know, overthrowing like a Cayman GT4 or anything like that. It's just not gonna happen. So anyway, guys, if you like this kind of content, please go ahead and give me a like, give me a sub, and we'll see you in the next one.